The Galactic Law. The stars were quiet. In a small spaceship drifting near the edge of the galaxy, a human named Alex Rayner sat alone. He was a simple man from Earth, hired to deliver small packages across space. Nothing special. No fame. No power. Just a job. But today was different. Suddenly, the lights on his control panel turned red. A loud beep echoed through the ship. The screen blinked with a strange message. URGENT, by Galactic Law numbered 999A. Human Alex Rayner is now required to marry all 7 royal alien sisters of the Lyrics galaxy. Refusal is not allowed. Alex blinked. He thought it was a joke. He rubbed his eyes. But the message stayed. This is not a test. This is not a dream. This is law. Before Alex could react, his ship shook. A beam of golden light wrapped around his ship and pulled him forward at light speed. He screamed. Everything around him blurred. Stars flew past like sparks. Then, suddenly, it all stopped. Alex found himself above a strange, glowing planet. Ships, cities, and towers floated in the sky. And below, thousands of alien beings watched a large screen that showed his face. What the hell is going on? Alex whispered. A voice echoed in his ship, deep and serious. Human Alex Rayner, you have been chosen. The Galactic Council has spoken. You will marry the 7 royal sisters of Lyrics. This is to unite the species and bring peace. You cannot say no. Alex froze. I don't even know them. The voice replied, you don't need to. The law is older than your Earth. This was always meant to happen. You are the missing piece. He felt his heart beat faster. He wasn't a warrior. He wasn't a hero. He was just Alex. He delivered space food and robot parts. This is a mistake, he shouted. But no one answered. Instead, his ship was pulled down toward the surface. A glowing palace appeared below. The doors opened by themselves. Alex had no choice. He walked in. The hall was massive. Gold pillars stretched into the sky. Alien guards in silver armor stood at attention. At the end of the hall, 7 tall figures waited. All were female. All were powerful. And all were watching him. Each one was different. One had blue skin like ice, with eyes like stars. Another had green hair that moved like water. One wore armor and held a sharp sword at her side. Another wore no weapon, but her mind glowed with energy. Each sister was unique, and none of them looked happy to see him. The eldest sister stepped forward. I am Princess Valera, she said. Her voice was calm but strong. By law, we must marry you, but don't think we like it. Alex swallowed hard. Yeah, I don't like it either. That made the sisters raise their eyebrows. No one ever spoke to them like that. The second sister, tall and cold, spoke next. Do you even understand why you're here? No, Alex said. I was just flying my ship. I got pulled into this madness. The third sister laughed. He's honest. I'll give him that. But then the eldest sister raised her hand. Her eyes narrowed. This law is ancient. Our galaxy is on the edge of war. By marrying one human, a neutral being, we join all races without giving one side power. You are our key to peace. Alex looked around. He didn't know what to say. This was bigger than him. He wanted to run, but the doors behind him were closed. He was trapped. Then the fourth sister spoke softly. You're scared. That's normal. But you need to understand. We didn't choose this either. We have rules too. Alex took a deep breath. Okay, I get it. I'm not going anywhere. But I want to know the truth. All of it. The sisters looked at each other. The room fell silent. Then the eldest said, Very well. Tomorrow you will begin the journey. Each of us will test you, learn about you, and decide if you're strong enough to stand beside us. If you fail, war will come. and your planet will burn with the rest. Alex's eyes widened. Wait, Earth, what did my planet do? The warrior sister stepped forward. Nothing. But if you break the law, the punishment is death. For you, and for Earth. Now Alex understood. He wasn't just marrying 7 alien sisters. He was holding the future of his planet in his hands. The first encounter. The night before the meeting, Alex couldn't sleep. The bed in the palace was too soft. The ceiling above him shimmered like a sky full of stars. Everything in the room felt too clean, too perfect. But inside Alex's chest, there was only confusion. He kept thinking about Earth, about home, about the strange law that had changed his life forever. He wasn't a hero. He was just a man with a small spaceship and a quiet life. But now he was at the center of a galactic plan, a law that demanded he marry 7 powerful alien sisters, each from a different planet, each from a royal bloodline, and each more dangerous than the last. As he stared at the glowing ceiling, he whispered to himself, "What if I mess this up?" There was no answer, just silence. The next morning, everything changed. 2 tall guards entered his room and told him to prepare. No armor, no weapons, just himself. "You will meet the first sister today," one guard said. "Which one?" Alex asked. The guard looked at him. "The warrior." Alex's heart dropped. They walked through long halls made of silver and glass. Strange alien lights glowed from the walls. The deeper they went into the palace, the colder the air became. Finally, they stopped in front of a massive metal door. "She is waiting inside," the guard said. "Good luck." The door opened with a loud hiss. Inside, the room looked like a battlefield. Swords, shields, and alien weapons lined the walls. In the center stood a tall woman with violet skin and golden armor. Her black hair was tied back tightly, and her eyes were sharp like blades. She was training. Her every move was fast and clean. She swung a glowing blade through the air, her muscles moving with perfect control. Alex stepped forward slowly. She noticed him, but didn't stop. Only when her practice dummy was split in half did she turn around. "You're smaller than I imagined," she said. Alex blinked. "Oh, thanks." She raised an eyebrow. "You're not afraid." Alex swallowed. "Should I be?" She walked closer. Her boots echoed in the room. She stopped just inches from him. Her eyes searched his face like she was studying a puzzle. "I am called Kalara, daughter of the Blade Queen. I have trained in war since I was 5. I have crushed armies and won more duels than I can count. And now, I am told I must marry you." Her voice held no joy, no kindness, only power. Alex nodded. "Yeah, I didn't ask for this either." That made her pause. Most men, she thought, would tremble. They would beg. They would try to impress her. But this human didn't try any tricks. He was just honest. "I expected weakness," she said. "I'm not strong," Alex replied. "But I don't run either." A small smile touched her lips. It was faint, but it was real. Then she stepped back. "Good, because I'm going to test you." Before Alex could speak, she threw a wooden staff toward him. He barely caught it. "Let's see if you can fight," she said. "I'm not a fighter," Alex warned. "Fight anyway." Alex took a deep breath. He held the staff with both hands. Kalara circled him like a predator. Then, without warning, she struck. The staff in her hands moved like lightning. Alex blocked, barely. The shock went through his arms. He stepped back. She didn't slow down. Another strike, another block. Alex lost his footing and fell hard to the ground. Kalara stood over him. "You're slow," she said. "Yup," Alex groaned. "And bruised." She tossed her staff away and held out her hand. He hesitated, then took it. She pulled him up with one arm. "You didn't run," she said. "Didn't have anywhere to go." She stared at him. Something changed in her eyes. a quiet respect. "You're not strong in body," she said, "but maybe strong in spirit." Alex gave a tired smile. "Thanks. That's the nicest insult I've ever heard." Kalara laughed, just once, a short sound, but real. Then she walked over to a small table and picked up 2 cups of glowing blue liquid. She handed one to Alex. He sniffed it. "Is this safe?" "Probably," she said. He sipped it. It tasted like cold mint and lightning. His body felt warm. "I hated this law," she said, staring into her cup. "It took away my choice, my freedom. I trained my whole life to fight for my people, not to be given away like a prize." Alex looked at her. "Then why are you still here?" She turned to him. "Because if I run, my sisters suffer. The galaxy needs peace, and peace demands this marriage." Alex nodded slowly. "So we're both stuck." Kalara didn't answer. She just looked at him. Really looked. Not like a soldier, not like a warrior, but like someone trying to understand. Then she said something he didn't expect. "I don't trust you, human, but I think I might learn to." And with that, she turned and walked away. Alex stood alone in the training hall, holding the empty cup. Something had changed. This wasn't just about the law anymore. These sisters weren't just names on a list. They were people. And if he wanted to survive, if he wanted peace, he had to understand them. One by one. Alien worlds. Alex never imagined stars could smell different. But as he stepped out of the transport ship onto the surface of Kalara's home planet, he smelled fire in the air. Not smoke, not burning. Just fire, like heat made into a scent. The sky above him was dark red, and 2 suns glowed in the distance like twin eyes. This was not Earth. This was Verok, a warrior planet. It was Kalara's birthplace. And now, it was Alex's first stop. He looked around. Mountains floated in the sky like islands. Rivers of glowing lava cut through valleys below. Giant stone statues stood like guards over the cities, statues of warriors with swords taller than houses. This place had no softness, no calm. It was a land that trained fighters from the moment they could walk. Beside him, Kalara stepped onto the ground with pride in her stride. She was back where she belonged. "Welcome to Verok," she said. "Don't fall into the lava." Alex tried to laugh, but his throat was dry. "Is it always this intense?" "This is home," she said. Guards bowed as she passed. The people, tall and armored, stood aside to let her through. But when they looked at Alex, their eyes narrowed. They didn't bow. They didn't smile. He was not welcome. Kalara noticed. "They don't trust outsiders," she said. "Especially not weak ones." Alex didn't respond. He knew he looked weak here. No armor, no sword, just himself and the weight of a strange marriage law hanging over him. Kalara led him to a palace made of dark stone and red glass. Inside, fires burned in giant bowls. The walls were covered in weapons, trophies from battles long past. In the center of the room sat an old woman, Kalara's mother, the Blade Queen. She had sharp eyes and long silver hair. Even sitting still, she looked like she could strike down 10 men with a blink. "So," the queen said, "this is the human." Alex stood straight. "Yes, Mom." She stared at him for a long time. "You are small," she said. "I get that a lot." The queen didn't laugh. "Kalara says you are honest. I like honest men. But honesty is not enough. You must prove yourself." Alex looked at Kalara, then back at the queen. "How?" The queen smiled. Not kindly, not cruelly, just knowingly. "You will climb the trial spire." Kalara's eyes widened. "Mother, that's for warriors. He must understand our world," the queen said, "or he cannot marry into it." Alex nodded. "What's the trial spire?" Kalara looked at him. "It's a mountain. a deadly one. If you fall, you die. Alex took a breath. Of course it is. They left early the next morning. The mountain was taller than the clouds. Its sides were sharp, with narrow paths and slippery stones. The wind howled like angry ghosts. Kaylara didn't say much, but she stayed close behind as Alex began the climb. Every step was harder than the last. His arms ached. His legs burned. Rocks slipped under his feet. Several times, he nearly fell. But he kept going. Not because he wanted to impress them. Not because he wanted to be a hero. He just wanted to understand. This was Kaylara's world. A world of strength. A world of pain. If he couldn't walk in it, even just once, then how could he claim to be part of her life? Hours passed. At one point, the sky turned dark. A storm began. Lightning flashed across the sky. Rain poured down like cold knives. Alex clung to the rocks, fingers bleeding, heart pounding. He heard Kaylara shout from below, "You can stop. You've proven enough." But Alex didn't stop. He climbed. And finally, when he thought his body would break, he reached the top. He stood there, above the world, panting, bleeding, shaking. But he was still standing. Kaylara reached him a few minutes later. She stared at him in silence. Then she said quietly, "Why did you keep going?" Alex looked out at the red sky. "Because this is your world," he said. "And I want to see it, not just the pretty parts. All of it." Kaylara didn't answer right away. Then she nodded once, slowly. "I believe you now." She didn't say thank you. She didn't cry. But in her eyes, something had changed. The next day, they returned to the palace. The Blade Queen greeted them again. "You climbed the spire," she said. "You bled for it. That is enough." Alex nodded. The queen stepped down from her seat. She placed her hand on his shoulder. "You may not be a warrior, but you are not a coward. That is rare." Then she looked at her daughter. "One sister has accepted him. 6 remain." Alex looked at Kaylara. She met his eyes. They didn't speak. They didn't need to. Something real had started between them. Not love. Not yet. But something real. As the ship prepared to leave for the next alien world, Alex stood at the window, watching the fiery skies of Varrock fade into space. He thought about what Kaylara said, about how each sister would test him, about how each world was different. He didn't know what waited ahead, but he knew this. He would not run. The power struggle. The stars didn't shine the same on this planet. The light here was softer, almost silver, like moonlight trapped in the air. Alex looked out of the ship's window as it descended slowly. The world below was quiet, beautiful, but strange. This was Severin, the home of the second alien sister, Luray. Kaylara stood beside him in the ship, silent. She hadn't spoken much since they left her world. But she had stayed close. Her presence was steady, like a shadow that refused to leave. When Alex turned to look at her, she simply said, "Be careful. Luray doesn't fight with weapons. She fights with words." Alex didn't know what that meant, yet. As they landed, a soft mist covered the ground. Trees here glowed in different shades of blue. Giant crystal towers reached into the sky like frozen flames. It was calm, peaceful, but too calm. Like something was hiding just below the surface. A silver carriage waited for them. 2 alien guards opened the door. Inside sat a woman dressed in long, flowing robes, her eyes bright like polished glass. She smiled when she saw Alex. "So," she said, "the famous human." Alex stepped in and sat across from her. "You must be Lyra." She nodded. "You're a little late. I was bleeding on a mountain." Luray chuckled. "I heard. Brave. Or foolish." She reached out her hand. Alex hesitated, then shook it. Her fingers were cold, soft like silk, but he could feel something else beneath the surface. Power, not physical, like Kaylara's, but something deeper, older. The carriage moved slowly through the city. Lyrae studied him. "Tell me, Alex, do you believe in power?" He raised an eyebrow. "I guess that depends on the kind." She leaned back. "Good answer." Lyrae led him to a grand hall of mirrors. Light bounced in strange patterns. Alex felt like he was walking through a dream. "This is where decisions are made," Lyrae said. "My people are thinkers, speakers. We do not rush into war, but we also don't forget threats." Alex stopped. "Are you saying I'm a threat?" She turned and looked straight into his eyes. "You are a risk. 1 law. 7 marriages. If you choose wrong or act foolishly, you could break the balance. That's why not everyone wants this law to succeed." Alex frowned. "Are you one of them?" She didn't answer. "Instead," she said, "I want peace. But I don't trust easily." Later that evening, Lyrae took Alex to a secret meeting room. Inside, 5 alien leaders sat around a circular table, each from different worlds. Each with serious faces. They were part of the Galactic High Circle, the group who had helped shape the marriage law. Lyrae sat beside Alex but didn't speak for him. "You are the center of the treaty," one of the leaders said. "But there are whispers. Some say you are not ready, that you're only human." Alex felt the weight of 100 eyes. "I didn't ask for this," he said, "but I didn't run from it either. I climbed your mountains. I faced your warriors. I'm not a hero, but I'm trying to understand what this really means." One leader stood. "Then answer this. What will you do if one sister turns against the others?" Alex paused. "I'll try to stop it. And if you can't, then I'll protect the innocent, even if it means standing alone." There was silence. Lyrae stared at him. Her gaze softened, just a little. After the meeting, as they walked through a garden filled with glowing plants, she finally spoke. "You were honest back there." "I'm not smart enough to lie to that many people," Alex joked. Lyrae smiled for real this time. Then her face turned serious. "There is something you need to know." She led him to a hidden library beneath the palace. Inside were old scrolls and ancient machines. On the far wall was a large stone tablet with the original Galactic law. Alex stepped closer. Words were written in hundreds of languages, but one line was clear, even to him. "If the Chosen One refuses or breaks the unity, the galaxy will divide into fire." Lyrae translated the rest. "This law was not made for peace," she said. "It was made for control. The council didn't want war between the sisters, so they chose a neutral bond. A human. You." Alex stared at the stone. "So I'm not the key to peace. I'm the lock." Lyrae nodded. "Exactly." That night, Lyrae took Alex to the rooftop garden. The wind was soft. The stars looked closer here. "I've studied humans for years," she said. "Your kind is unpredictable, emotional, but also honest." Alex looked at her. "So do you believe I can do this?" "I don't know," she replied. "But I think you care, and that's rare." She stepped closer. "I accept the law. I accept you. But if you lie to me, if you lie to any of us, it will not end well." Alex met her eyes. "I won't lie, even if the truth hurts." She reached out, touched his face, then pulled away quickly. "No more mirrors," she said. "Next time, you meet truth without reflection." As Alex prepared to leave Severin, he looked back once more at the towers behind him. Kalara stood at the ship's door. "Still alive?" she asked. "Barely." "Lyrae didn't kill you with words." "Not yet," Alex said. "But she told me the truth. This law, it's not about love." Kalara nodded. "No, but maybe it could be. One day." As the ship rose into space, Alex felt the pressure building. 2 sisters accepted him. But with each step forward, the danger grew. Something was moving behind the scenes. And soon, someone would try to tear it all apart. Hidden secrets. There was a strange silence in the ship. Not peaceful, not quiet, heavy, like the kind of silence that comes before a storm, when the sky holds its breath. Alex sat alone in his chamber, staring at a small metal box he found under his bed. It had no lock, no label, just a blinking green light on the top. He had never seen it before, and no one could tell him how it got there. He opened it. Inside was a small disc. No note, no instructions, but something inside him whispered that this was important, that someone wanted him to see something. And maybe someone didn't. He took the disc to the ship's core room, inserted it into the translator port. The screen came alive. A hologram appeared. It was Lorraine, the sister he had just left. But she wasn't smiling now. She wasn't speaking softly in Moonlight Gardens. She looked frightened, angry. She spoke fast, her voice filled with warning. If you're seeing this, then you've started to feel it too. The sisters, we were lied to. The law isn't just about marriage. It's about power. And someone is using it to take control from the inside. Be careful. Not all of us can be trusted. One of us is working with the Shadow Court. Then the message cut off. Alex froze. Shadow Court. He had never heard those words before, but his stomach twisted, because deep down, he knew what they meant. A secret force, a hidden enemy, inside the palace, inside the marriage, inside one of the sisters. The next planet was different from the others. It was called Illustra, a quiet place full of water and wind. The cities floated on large moving islands. Everything was soft and slow. The wind carried music. The waves hummed like voices under the sea. This was the home of Geria, the third sister. Kalara didn't come with him this time. She said she needed to return to her world for a short while. Alex wondered if that was the truth, or if she needed space. Things between them had been quiet since Severin. He arrived alone. Geria waited on the edge of the floating dock, wearing simple robes made of sea thread. Her skin shimmered like pearl, and her long hair moved in the wind as if alive. She looked calm, too calm. "You've come," she said. "You expected me." She gave a small smile. "I saw it in the water." Alex blinked. "You saw the future." She didn't answer directly. Instead, she turned and said, "Walk with me." They moved across narrow bridges made of lightwood. Birds with glowing wings flew above. Strange creatures with soft eyes swam beneath the walkways. Everything here felt dreamlike. But Alex didn't feel safe. Not after Lorraine's message. They walked in silence for a long time. Then Geria finally spoke. "I know what you carry." Alex stiffened. "What do you mean?" "The disc," she said. "The warning. Lorraine sent it." Alex stopped walking. "How do you know about that?" Geria turned slowly. Her expression didn't change. "Because I was the one who told her the truth." She led him to a small chamber made of seashells and glowing vines. Inside, the walls were covered in old paintings. In the center of the room stood a mirror made of living coral. "This mirror is ancient," Geria said. "It shows not your face, but your truth." Alex stepped forward. In the reflection, he didn't see himself as he looked now. He saw a younger version, before the law, before the ship, before the sisters. A lonely man with tired eyes, always moving from job to job, never really feeling at home. "That's who you were," Geria said, "but it's not who you are now." He turned to her. "What's really going on?" Geria took a deep breath. "There is a group," she said, "a secret one, known only in whispers, the Shadow Court. Long ago, they were part of the Galactic Council, but they wanted control, full control. So they disappeared, went underground. And now they're back," Alex said. Geria nodded. "They want to use the law to bind the sisters, then break them. If one sister falls to the court, the rest follow. Because the marriage law ties all power into one." Alex's heart sank. "And you think One of the sisters is already working with them. Yes, she said softly. But I don't know who. Alex stepped back. Why tell me all this? Why not go to the council? Jiria's voice dropped. Because the council might be part of it too. That night, Alex sat on the floating balcony of his guest room. The stars reflected in the water below. His mind raced. The law. The sisters. The lies. Jiria joined him quietly. I know this isn't what you wanted, she said. No, Alex replied. It's not. But now, I have to see it through. She nodded. Then you'll need allies. She reached into her robe and handed him a small crystal. Place this on any ship wall, she said. If danger comes, I'll hear it. Alex looked at her. Why trust me? Jiria looked into his eyes. Because when I looked into the mirror, I saw my own reflection change. She stepped away, then turned. I accept the law. I will marry you. But if this darkness spreads, you must be willing to choose, even if it means breaking hearts. Then she was gone. As the ship lifted from Illustra, Alex watched the floating islands disappear behind him. 3 sisters had accepted him. But now he knew the truth. One of them was a traitor. One of them wore a smile but held a knife behind her back. And if he didn't find out who, soon, it might be too late for all of them. Betrayal. Alex didn't sleep. Not after Illustra. Not after Jiria's words. One of us is working with the Shadow Court. That sentence kept repeating in his head like a broken song. Now, as the ship drifted toward the 4th sister's world, Alex sat by the window with his eyes wide open, watching stars pass by. They looked cold tonight, distant, like they knew something he didn't. And maybe they did. He thought about Kalara, Luray, Jiria, all so different, all strong in their own way. He had shared something real with each of them. And yet, one of them could be hiding a knife. He hated the thought. But worse than that, he feared what was coming. The 4th world was unlike any place Alex had seen before. Miraxis was a planet of shadows and light. Massive floating stones orbited the surface like moons. Purple mist hung in the sky, and towers grew out of the ground like crystal spires. The people here moved silently, almost like they danced as they walked. This was the home of the 4th sister, Velisara. She greeted him at the edge of a silver bridge, her long black dress sweeping behind her. Her skin was pale, almost like moonlight, and her hair shimmered like oil in water. Her eyes, deep, unreadable, never left his. Welcome, human, she said. Alex nodded. You can just call me Alex. She smiled, but there was no warmth in it. Names mean little here, only actions. Velisara led him through a garden of glass trees, where the leaves chimed like bells in the wind. Alex followed her in silence, uneasy. There was beauty here, but also coldness, distance, like nothing here was truly alive. She stopped at a balcony overlooking a wide canyon. Tell me, she said, how many sisters have accepted you? 3, Alex said. Kalara, Luray, Jiria. She turned her head slowly, studying him. And do you trust them? Alex hesitated. Velisara noticed. Good, she said, because you shouldn't. His chest tightened. Why? Velisara stepped closer. Because one of them is already lost. Corrupted. The law has become poison, and the Shadow Court is spreading through its veins. You are not their cure, Alex. You're just their mask. Alex stared at her. How do you know this? She walked past him. Because I saw it happen. That night, Velisara brought Alex to a hidden chamber beneath the palace. She lit a strange flame in the center of the room. Blue fire flickered inside a circle of sharp stones. I was part of the secret council, she admitted, before the law was written. Alex stepped back. Why didn't you say anything before? Because I didn't trust you, she said. But now, I think you deserve to know. She pulled a scroll from a locked box and handed it to him. It was old, written in a language Alex couldn't read. "This is the original draft of the law," she explained. "It was never about unity. It was about locking power inside one person. That person was never supposed to be you." Alex frowned. "Then who?" Velisura looked at him. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "Me." Silence filled the room. She continued, "I was meant to become the link, join the sisters through blood and mind. But I refused. I didn't want control. I wanted freedom. That's when they rewrote the law and made it about marriage. About you." Alex didn't know what to say. "So why are you telling me this now?" Velisura's gaze turned hard. "Because the court found another way in. One of my sisters took the offer I rejected. One of them now holds the power that was meant for me. And she plans to use it against us all." Alex's hands shook. "Who?" he whispered. "Which one?" Velisura stepped closer, placing a hand on his chest. "You must listen carefully, Alex, because this truth will burn." Then she whispered the name, and Alex's world shattered. Kalara, the warrior, the one who had trained him, fought beside him, blood with him on the mountain. Velisura spoke slowly. She didn't fall to greed. She fell to fear. The court promised her strength, promised that if the law failed, she could still protect her world. But they twisted her, and now she waits for the right moment. Alex staggered back. "No," he said. "Kalara would never." "She already has," Velisura said. "Her world grows stronger while the others grow weak. The court is feeding her, giving her ships, weapons, preparing her for something dark." Alex's mind spun. It couldn't be true. But deep down, a voice whispered, "What if it is?" He left the chamber in silence. Back on the ship, he locked himself in his room and replayed every memory of Kalara. The training, the climb, the soft words she spoke when no one was watching, the way her eyes softened even when her voice didn't. Was it all real? Or was she just preparing him? Using him? He didn't sleep that night. The next day, he sent a message to Kalara. No tricks, just one simple line. "I need to see you. Alone." Her reply came fast. "Meet me where it began, on the mountain." He returned to Varrock in silence. The mountain stood the same, sharp, powerful, red with fire. Kalara waited halfway up the trail, sitting by the edge. She stood when she saw him. "Alex," she said. He looked at her. His voice was cold. "Did you betray me?" She stiffened. He stepped closer. "Did you make a deal with the Shadow Court?" Kalara's jaw tightened. Her eyes narrowed, but she didn't deny it. "I did what I had to," she said. "To protect my people. You don't understand." "No, I understand," Alex interrupted. "You lied." Kalara's hands curled into fists. "You think this was easy for me, watching my world beg for defense while others sat in safety. You used me." "No," she said. "I cared about you. I still do. But I had to choose. And I chose my home." The silence between them was sharp. Then Kalara whispered, "If I told you the truth, you would have left me behind." Alex turned away. "And now you've lost me anyway." He walked down the mountain. This time, she didn't follow. Back on the ship, Alex stood alone. 4 sisters, 1 betrayal. And now, everything was broken. The law had become a cage. The galaxy was splitting. And he, the chosen human, was running out of time. The final part of the law was coming soon. The bonding, the unification, the moment the power would be sealed. But now, with trust broken and war rising, Alex knew. If he made the wrong choice next, the galaxy would burn. The final decision. The stars were no longer silent. They burned brighter, sharper, as if the galaxy itself was holding its breath, waiting for what came next. Alex stood in the main hall of the Galactic Council, a massive chamber floating in the heart of neutral space. The walls were made of living crystal, reflecting 1,000 faces. Alien leaders from across the systems sat in silence, watching him. Today was the binding ceremony, the day when the law would be completed. The 7 royal sisters would unite through one human, Alex Raynor. Their powers would lock together. Their worlds would form an alliance unbreakable by war or time. That was the promise. But promises had already been broken. Kalara had betrayed him. Or maybe she had just broken under pressure. Either way, the truth had shattered something deep inside him. His trust, his hope. Now, with 6 sisters left to meet, and war whispers growing louder, Alex had made a decision, and it would change everything. The chamber doors opened. The first to arrive was Lorraine, her long silver gown glowing in the crystal light. She nodded to Alex, then sat silently at her side of the ceremonial circle. Then came Jiria, her hair woven with sea stone. Her expression was calm, but her eyes searched Alex's face carefully, sensing the storm inside him. Then Velisara, dressed in black, like shadow draped in elegance. She walked with slow grace and said nothing. Her presence, as always, was sharp. 3 sisters had accepted the law. 3 sisters had not. Kalara, though called, had not arrived. 2 other sisters, ones Alex had yet to meet, had refused the journey. They saw no value in the law anymore. Rumors said they were preparing their worlds for war instead. Only 4 sat in the circle. And without all 7, the law could not bind. Unless Alex chose. That was the final clause in the scroll, one hidden from most, but now revealed to him by Jiria and Velisara. If the full bond cannot be formed, the chosen may unite with those present and break the law's original purpose. It was a backdoor, a final choice. It would destroy the old law, but it would create something new. The High Council rose. Their voices echoed in every corner of the chamber. Alex Raynor, do you stand ready to complete the binding? He stepped forward. His voice was calm, but every word carried weight. No. Gasps filled the hall. The sisters turned toward him in shock. Even Lorraine, usually so composed, looked stunned. The council leader frowned. Explain yourself. Alex's eyes burned with quiet fire. This law was made for power, not peace. It was written to control, not connect. I've seen the lies buried inside it, and I won't let myself become a tool. The council murmured among themselves. Alex turned to the sisters. I didn't come here to be worshipped or feared. I came here to understand, to learn, to care. And I did. But this law, this whole system, is rotten. He looked at each of them. Kalara made her choice. Maybe I don't forgive her, but I understand her. The pressure, the fear, it's too much for anyone to carry. We're all just trying to survive. He faced the council again. So I'm making my decision now. He held up the final scroll, the one Velisara had given him. I will not complete the law. I will not bind the 7. The chamber fell silent. Then he said something no one expected. But I will form a new bond. He stepped toward the center of the circle. The ancient platform glowed beneath his feet. I choose not power, he said, but trust. He reached out his hand. First to Lorraine, then Jiria, then Velisara. One by one, they stepped forward. Not forced, not by law, but by choice. They placed their hands in his. The platform glowed brighter. The crystals around them began to hum. The energy in the room shifted, not harsh or burning like before, but warm, alive. Then the impossible happened. The scrolls began to fall apart, turning to dust in the air. The old law was gone, and in its place, something new began. Outside the chamber, the news spread like fire. Across systems, across armies, across empires. The human did not complete the law. The law has been broken. But peace remains. Ships paused their march. Worlds on the edge of war went still. Messages flew between leaders. Some were angry, others afraid. But some understood. Because for the first time, the galaxy had seen something real. A choice made without force, a bond formed without command. Later that night, Alex stood alone in the sky garden above the council tower. The stars felt closer now, not so cold. Footsteps approached. He turned. It was Kalara. Her armor was scratched. Her eyes were tired. She said nothing for a long time. Then softly, "You broke the law." Alex nodded. "Yeah, you ended it." He looked up. It needed to end. Kalara stepped closer. "I heard what you said. In the chamber." He looked at her. His voice cracked just slightly. "Why didn't you come?" Kalara looked away. "Because I didn't trust myself." A pause. "I still don't." Alex placed something in her hand. It was a small stone, carved from the mountain where they first met. "I didn't choose you today," he said, "but I never stopped remembering you." Kalara closed her hand around it. Then she whispered, "Maybe peace doesn't come all at once. Maybe it comes in small steps." Alex nodded. One step at a time. The next day, ships from all sides began to meet in orbit, no longer as enemies, but as witnesses. The old law was gone, but the example left behind was stronger than any document. A human, once alone in space, had made the galaxy pause. Not with war, not with force, but with heart. And for the first time, in 1,000 years, the stars felt quiet again. But this time, it wasn't silence. It was peace.